April 17th, 2026, a Thursday evening in Southeast Queens, New York. The sun was still up. The park was full of life. 300 teenagers had gathered for a water balloon fight. Amongst the people was Jaden Pierre, a 15-year-old boy. He just wanted to have fun, but he never came home. Jaden was a student at Eagle Academy in St. Albans, Queens, a school literally steps away from the park where he would take his last breath. Eagle Academy for young men. It's not just a school, it's a mission. A school designed specifically for young men of color, built on the belief that structure, brotherhood, and high expectations can change the trajectory of a life. Jaden Pierre walked through those doors every day. Think about what that means for a second. Somebody, his family, his community, made sure that boy was in a school that saw him, that believed in him, that was trying to give him every tool he needed to build something real. He had people in his corner, teachers who knew his name, coaches who watched him on the court. People who knew him described him as warm, caring, a kid who loved basketball, the kind of young man who, when he walked into a room, you felt it. Thursday afternoon at Roy Wilkins Park. Word had spread on social media about a group event. Hundreds of teenagers showed up. Estimates put the crowd at around 300 young people. It was a warm spring day. The kind of day that reminds you summer is almost here. Jaden was there, just like the rest of them. But somewhere in that crowd, something shifted. A dispute broke out near the basketball courts. It didn't take much. A look, or maybe even a word, a history that nobody on the outside fully knows. What started as a confrontation quickly became something far more violent. Before he knew it, Jaden was surrounded, cornered, his back literally against a fence near the park's comfort station. Multiple teenagers closed in on him. They punched him, kicked him, threw him to the ground. He put his hands over his head, trying to protect himself. And then, one of them pulled a gun, one shot to the chest. A nearby witness was playing basketball nearby when it happened. Here is what he had to say.
The loss of a 15-year-old from a bullet to the chest is hitting hard tonight for the community that enjoys Roy Wilkins Park.
Kids dying, it's not cool.
This young man could see teenagers fighting by the basketball courts just after 6.
I heard a shot go off, so I came running over here to make sure everybody was okay, especially my friends.
He saw the boy wounded on the ground.
I know him from coming over here to play basketball. He's a good basketball player. Cool kid.
Detectives spent the evening gathering evidence from around the basketball court and playground.
It is normally pretty safe, but somebody is bringing guns into our community and putting them in the hands of our children.
The crowd scattered. The shooter ran, last seen on video in a gray sweatsuit, disappearing into the neighborhood. Jaden was still breathing when EMS arrived. They rushed him to Jamaica Hospital Medical Center. He was pronounced dead shortly after. While Jaden lay in the hospital, something else was happening outside. Dozens of teenagers were still in the park, phones out, filming the crime scene. Witness Keith Suggs, 62 years old, was there. He watched Jaden's family arrive. His aunt ran up. She was leaning over the body. She was screaming, "My baby, my baby." Then the police said, "Don't touch the body," and moved her away. Keith Suggs, witness. That image. A mother figure screaming over a 15-year-old boy she loved, being pulled away by police tape and procedure. That's not just a crime scene. That's a family being shattered in real time. As of right now, no arrests have been made. The NYPD's 113th precinct is actively investigating. Detectives combed the basketball court and playground for evidence. Police have released images of the suspect, a figure in a gray sweatsuit, seen fleeing in the video. If you have any information, Crime Stoppers can be reached at 1-800-577-TIPS or online at crimestoppers.nypeonline.org. All calls are confidentially recorded in real time. But here's what makes this case cut even deeper. This is not the first time a young black teen has been shot and killed near these courts. In 2019, just half a mile away, 14-year-old Amir Griffin was gunned down at Baisley Park houses while playing basketball. He was mistaken for a rival gang member. He was 14 years old. Now, 7 years later, Jaden Pierre, 15 years old, killed in almost the same way, in almost the same place. At what point do we stop calling these isolated incidents and start calling it what it is? Former New York City Mayor Eric Adams posted the video of the attack to social media. The full, unfiltered footage of Jaden being beaten and shot, calling for more to be done to protect children. Queens Borough President Donovan Richards said, "The pain of losing Jaden Pierre to gun violence at 15 years old is indescribable." City Council member Nantasha Williams said she was deeply saddened and heartbroken. Council member Ty Hankerson called it unacceptable. Words, statements, condolences. And yet, the shooter is still free. And yet, there is no policy in place that brought Jaden back. And yet, in a park full of 300 people and dozens of phones, a 15-year-old boy still died alone on the ground. Here's what I want you to sit with. Jaden Pierre went to that park the same way millions of teenagers go to parks every single day. He wasn't looking for trouble. And somewhere in the layers of that afternoon, peer pressure, beef that probably started long before that day, access to a gun that no teenager should have. A 15-year-old boy became another name on a list that should not exist. There is a version of April 17th, 2026, where Jaden Pierre goes home. He eats dinner, maybe calls a friend, falls asleep thinking about the weekend. That version didn't happen. And we have to ask ourselves, every one of us, what are we doing to make sure the next kid gets to make it home? For Jaden, the court wasn't just concrete and hoops, it was home. And Roy Wilkins Park, that park, was right there, steps from his school, a place he'd probably been 100 times before. That Thursday, he was 15, which means he was still figuring out who he was, still in that in-between space, not a little kid anymore, but not yet the man he was becoming. He had time. He was supposed to have time. By the time night fell on South Jamaica, the whole neighborhood knew. That's the thing about losing a kid in a community. It doesn't stay private. It can't. The grief moves through the block like weather. Parents calling their children home early. Mothers standing in doorways. The group chats going silent. And then suddenly exploding all at once. Jaden's classmates at Eagle Academy found out the way teenagers find everything out now. Through their phones, through posts, through the particular cruelty of social media, which doesn't pause, doesn't soften, doesn't prepare you. He was supposed to have time, but there's a pattern that communities like South Jamaica know all too well. A child dies, the statements come, the vigil happens, the cameras show up, and then, slowly, inevitably, the news cycle moves on. A new story takes its place. The precinct continues its investigation. The family continues their grief. And the neighborhood is left to figure out, once again, how to keep its children alive without enough help from the systems that are supposed to do exactly that. Eric Adams posting the unfiltered video of Jaden being beaten and shot. That was controversial. Some people said it was exploitative, that a child deserved more dignity in his final moments than to become a viral clip. Others said the rawness was the point, that comfortable people need to be made uncomfortable before they act. There's an argument on both sides. What's not arguable is this: a 15-year-old is dead, and the debate about how we talk about it has already outlasted the news coverage of it. If this video moved you, share it. Not for views, for Jaden, for every kid in every neighborhood who deserves to make it home. Drop a comment below. What do you think needs to change? Subscribe if you're new. We tell the stories that deserve to be heard. And if you have information about this case, please call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS. That's 1-800-577-TIPS. All calls are anonymous.